computer. Hello, Realtor Nation. We are back with another interview for our board of directors. I have President Monahan with me today and Brooke Zrudsky and a cattail handing the baton to President Jill. This is going to be a fun one. Jill, take it away.
Hey, everybody. Well,
Camera, Lily.
this is Lily, everybody. I mean, we're here to interview Brooke, but we thought that it's very important that everybody gets to meet Miss Lily because from the sounds of it, she is a huge fan of Zoom.
Mhm.
She likes Zoom calls. She always interrogates them.
That's awesome. So Brooke is joining us today. Brooke is a member of the board. She's on the board of directors. She is a director and she's married to Chris. And obviously you met their little fur baby, Lily. How old's Lily?
She's 14. She's an old lady.
Wow, she
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
Brooke was born and raised in Marion too. And you still live in Marion.
I do.
She went to Linn-Mar and then she went off to UNI and has a teaching degree. And now she's in real estate because she did that right after college. So you didn't teach at all?
I did my student teaching and I subbed for a while before I got into real estate just to save up money.
Got it.
Very cool.
Very cool. Well, we're glad that you joined real estate, decided to do that. So Kevin, do you want to start off asking Brooke some questions? Or do you want
Yeah,
to?
absolutely. So Brooke, you specialize in residential, right?
Yes, I do. I've done a few commercial transactions just for really good friends that just wanted me to only do it for them. But for the most part, I let commercial agents do their thing.
And you're with what brokerage? Help us out. there.
Iowa Realty.
There you go. All right. What year were you voted in on the board of directors?
Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I started in 2020. Is that right?
I believe that, yeah, that's correct. You're
Okay.
absolutely right, right? So you've got so you got this year and you got 1 year left on your term
Yes.
for your 3-year term. Yeah.
Mhm.
I have a question on that. Can I ask a question, a piggyback question?
Jump in.
Sorry, I'm hijacking you. What's been your most favorite part on the board of directors?
I would say my favorite parts that I've experienced so far, it's been about almost 2 years, is just getting to know some people from some other brokerages. I think it makes you more connected to the CRAAR in general, and it allows you to really get to know people that maybe you wouldn't have crossed paths with as much prior, and being more involved in events. I feel like you naturally do that once you're on the board as well. So it's just been a really good way for me to network with other agents.
Very cool. How long have you been in real estate?
This is my 15th year.
15th year. Very
I'm
cool.
old. I'm getting old.
So
Oh,
you
you're
got Lily as like a little support animal when you were starting real estate.
Absolutely.
Actually, we got her, she was a stray. And
Oh,
we got her after my parents couldn't keep her any longer. We took her in.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we've had her for 12 or 13 years now. I think she was about a year when my parents found her and they had her for about a year. So she's actually great to come home to. I highly suggest having an animal.
a support animal.
Yes.
Jill, you're up.
All right. So this question is about if you had a career before real estate, but you really didn't. But when you were at UNI, I'm intrigued about this. I know you went to school for teaching, but did you ever like take any of their real estate classes that they had?
No. So my path to real estate, actually, I did this crazy summer job where I sold educational books door to door.
Oh, I remember
And
that.
so that's where my sales part came in. I started that, I did my freshman, sophomore, and junior summer. So I would literally go to school a year and then I'd be gone all summer selling books door to door through a company called Southwestern. and other Southwestern people know how crazy it is. You work a ton, but I did really well at that. And I just fell in love with the idea of doing a sales job, but I also wanted teaching to fall back on in case that didn't work out. So I finished my degree and I looked into pharmaceuticals, insurance, and real estate and chose real estate.
We're glad you did.
I'm glad I did too. It's been a great career.
So you've been selling real estate for 15 years.
Mhm.
When do you think you first got involved in committees?
I think it was maybe my business partner, Barry Frank, said, you need to start being more involved. And I think a lot of people don't get involved until somebody asks them to. So I would say it's maybe been 8 to 10 years ago I started working on, so it probably took me 5 to 7 years to really realize that there were committees to be on and which ones to be on. So I've been on the Real Estate Today show, which is kind of tabled for now because of COVID. And then I'm also been on Habitat for Humanity. I'm actually a co-chair of that now. And then I've also been on what's the one where in case there's like a case you need to.
Yeah, you're on professional standards.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
But I've never been asked to do anything because hopefully those never happen. So.
And honestly, I kind of have you on pause on that because there are really 3 tribunals in a hearing. It's the grievance committee, it's the pro standards committee, and then the board of directors has to ratify any decision from pro standards. So you are involved in that process being on the board of directors. I just can't have you be a juror per se.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, good to know.
But keep signing up for it because I always need people for potential jurors on that.
Yes.
When you were listing all of the committees, it made me think about when we meet with legislators, when we go to Des Moines and the legislators will list off all the committees that they're on that absolutely mean nothing to us, right? They list them off and we're like, I mean, they have long names.
Yeah.
So the only reason I'm bringing that up is we hopefully have a lot of new members or members within the last couple of years that have, they have no idea, like you listed the committees you've been on. And I didn't think about that till now. So if you're watching this and you're wondering what the committees are, Christy will send out the volunteer request next month. And when she does that, there's an actual description of each committee. And you can always reach out to other people that have been on committees, just ask around your office and they'll tell you. So it just made me think about that. Like you were listed them off like you were a legislature because you've been on a lot of committees. So.
I don't want to be in politics, but that's good.
You know what I thought about when she said Habitat, and I started thinking about her selling books door to door and how awesome Brooke is at helping with Habitat selling paddles, or when we're doing the home team huddle. That's her wheelhouse right there.
Yeah, I'm sadly not afraid to ask anyone for money.
That's awesome. So with Habitat, I mean, while that is, part of CRAAR, one of the committees, it's also a huge community, and that's part of the community too. So you're definitely involved in bettering the community. Are there any other community groups you're part of, or just Habitat for right now?
Sure. So probably the one that I've been most involved with is Junior League of Cedar Rapids. I actually just went sustaining, but I was a member of that for, I think it was 8 or 9 years. I kind of lost count, but that's an amazing women's group that does a ton of amazing things in the community. And so that's been a great way for me to meet a lot of amazing women in the community. And so if you've ever thought about, if you're female and you've thought about wanting to volunteer, it's a great way to do that. That's probably the most involved I've been in a group.
Thank you. Thank you for your service on that too, because, being well-rounded is important. It helps everybody. That's great. What's your favorite event for CRAAR?
I mean, as far as just an event in general, I love going to the inaugural. I don't know if we're considering that an event. I consider it an event. It's not a fundraiser, but I just love getting dressed up and seeing everybody else dressed up and going to the dinner and seeing the induction of the new president and all that. So it's just always a good time. As far as fundraisers go, though, I would say the Habitat for Humanity Recycle Gala is an amazing event. It's coming up October 23rd, I think. And it's where it's kind of like Project Runway meets the recycle portion, where they make stuff out of unconventional materials, and then you do a runway walk and there's a winner. So I'm very competitive, so I always want to be the winner of that as well.
And so we're recording this right now in September, and this could live out for a while.
Yep.
So if you're watching this, just know that every year, it's usually every October, right? Is when the
October-ish, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're watching this and it's 2022, get it on your radar. If you're watching it before this next gala, definitely have it on your radar. It is a fun event, and the 2021 event is going to be at the Olympic Theater, or the Olympic event.
Olympic, yep, Southside
Theater.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think we just have one more question.
We do, yep. Any advice, Brooke, or fun experience in the industry that you want to share with agents just getting into the business, or any parting words of wisdom?
I would say that real estate is a very unique career. It is a career where you don't have a schedule, but you have a schedule. So just be prepared for kind of a roller coaster, but also know that once you figure out how to do real estate and do it well, it's one of the most amazing careers you can do. I've enjoyed it. Of course, there's been ups and downs, but I've never questioned being a realtor the last 15 years that I have. So just keep on going, get through the hard times, because there will be good times.
I love it.
That's awesome. Awesome advice. And thank you for your time up to now on the board of directors, and for your future time board of directors, and all of your committee involvement. And for bringing Lily on board.
And for bringing Lily.
She wants my attention while I'm on these calls, always.
Always.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Brooke.
Yeah, thanks, Brooke. And Jill, thank you too for taking time.
Yeah,
and
thank you, Kevin.
We'll get this loaded on all of our socials. And thanks for joining us today, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
bye-bye.